Hey YouTube, it's Natalie. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Happy weekend. So I have a few sovereign citizen video suggestions that I want to make sure that I get through from you guys. If you want to send video suggestions to me, my email address is natalielawyerchick@gmail.com. By the way, my name is Natalie. I'm a criminal defense attorney. I've been a criminal defense attorney for 10 years. Let's get right into this reaction. The video suggestion comes from Paul Reynolds. I've never seen this video before, so let's get right into it. Oh, also, if you're new to the reaction video format, it's a pretty standard format here on YouTube. And I'm going to be stopping the video, reacting to it, and giving my legal analysis on what's occurring in the video. So if you do want to see the entire video with no interruptions, I will put that link in the description box below.
The cops just pulled us over right outside of our house. As soon as we pulled up to the house, we got our baby in the car. So they getting out.
I'm coming.
Hey, don't do that.
How may I help you, officer?
You may help me by giving you your license, registration, and
Before
insurance.
we get there, I need you to give me your badge number. I'm recording for my protection. Where's your body camera
I
at?
don't have a body camera.
Okay. I need your
My badge number
I
is
need-
3420.
I need your name and I need your bond claim number.
Okay.
Bond claim number, not a thing. Invented by sovereign citizens and Moorish Americans, not a thing.
License, registration, insurance.
I will identify myself.
Okay.
I need you to identify yourself
I'm
first.
Officer Kincaid, badge number 3420.
Bond claim number, please.
License, registration, insurance, please.
Bond claim
All
number.
right, sir.
Excuse me, can you give him your license, registration,
to
and insurance?
identify your-
We have our child in the car. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Oh wow, look at that. See, we have a girlfriend that has, or wife, excuse me if I'm incorrect, no disrespect intended, but we have a girlfriend or wife that has some common sense. Give them your license and registration, please, okay? He's told you who he is. Give over the license and registration. When you're operating a motor vehicle, you are required to provide your license and registration when being stopped by a police officer. He hasn't asked why he's been stopped. All that's happened is the officer has stopped him. I don't know why. I don't know if it's for a valid reason yet, but upon the request of the officer to provide the license and registration, he has to provide it.
Don't make this any more difficult than it needs to
And
be.
we're right outside of our home. We live
Okay.
right there.
License, registration, insurance.
Don't do it with my kid in the car. I'm not doing this. You can stand up for yourself another time. I
Oh.
get killed with my kid in the car.
I getting killed.
Yeah, right. You stupid. You black. Give up the ID, the registration, whatever.
I actually don't have to identify myself.
Well,
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Now, there's a difference if he was on foot and just walking and not doing anything and minding his business. But when you're in a motor vehicle, you are required to provide your license and registration when stopped by a police officer because it's a privilege, it's not a right. And one of the ways that you keep that privilege is that you keep current license and registration. And so you are required when operating a motor vehicle, according to the laws of all states, to provide license and registration. In some states, my state in particular, the officer has to tell you why they stopped you, but that's not the case in all states.
oh, you do, or you go to jail.
She's right. You need to listen to her.
I'm not doing this.
Why are you pulling me over?
You have your center brake light out, sir.
There you go. There you go. That should have been his first question was, why did you pull me over? That's what I would want to know first and foremost. If I'm going to be asking anything, it's why you pulled me over. And then I'm going to be handing over my license and my registration. So your center brake light was out. That's a valid traffic stop. It can be something that low and that minor that can give the officer reasonable articulable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot or is about to be committed or has just been committed. So literally, this officer is within his authority, even for a brake light, to stop this guy. And now it's his obligation as the driver, under this privilege of driving a motor vehicle, to provide his license and registration.
What's the center brake?
The center brake light is that brake light right in there.
left something in the house, they can escort me in there so I can get it.
She's even trying to help him by saying that if he left something in the house, they can escort me in there into the house to make sure I'm not going to do anything funny and I can get it. Okay, but don't pull this mess with my child in the car. And I completely understand where she's coming from. This is someone who has her priorities straight. She may have procreated with an idiot, but she is saying to him, don't you be an idiot today with this child in this car.
If there's going to be any more problems, I'm going to request.
He's letting you know that your lights out, so say thank you. Damn, I'm not doing this with my kid in the car.
I absolutely love her. Absolutely. You know, there's no reason for you to turn a simple traffic citation or warning into an arrest and a tasing and a window busting and stuff like that. Just act like a regular person, okay? Don't escalate the situation. And she's completely right.
Listen, you can do all of that. Identify yourself, and he gave you his badge number. No, you
Guys, give me his bond claim number.
What the fuck is a bond? He probably don't even know what a bond claim number
You
is.
know what a bond?
I love her. I love her. It's not a thing, okay? There's no bond claim number. The law does not operate in this fictitious state that you and your friends have created, okay? That's not a thing. He's an officer. He has a badge number. He has a supervisor. He has a name. That's how he's identified. He does not have a bond claim number. There is no bank account out there with under your name where the U.S. government has to come up with your money. This is not governed by the UCC. It's governed by the traffic articles of that state or that county or that jurisdiction. This has nothing to do with this foolishness that you've made up. And I love that she is in real time calling him on it. That's what more of them need.
They're bonded. All them cops are bonded.
Okay, check your attitude. Cause soon as they pulled you over, you straight had the attitude from John. Cause you send a brake light out.
I love it. Check your attitude, you know? And she said something to him that is something that is said in the Black community. You know, if you're not Black, maybe you don't know this. But she said to him, you know, you're Black and you're acting stupid, right? So we already within the Black community have a heightened fear that even a normal interaction, a friendly interaction, can turn deadly because of misunderstandings, cross-racial misidentifications, things of that nature. It can happen, right? And so we teach each other, usually mothers teaching their sons, that you are respectful. You give the officer what he asks you for. You keep your hands in plain sight. You don't go doing any sudden movements. Yes, sir, no, sir, and then move on with your life, you know, instead of trying to score points and prove a point and then end up dead. So that's ultimately the point that she's trying to make here. He's the father of her child. She doesn't want to have a fatherless child. So she's telling him to act like he has some sense. And I think she's completely right here. Let's see what happens.
They ain't even talk to you all crazy. You start talking to them all crazy.
I don't even have much to say. I mean, she's saying everything that needs to be said. And just so that I'm clear here, everyone can have fear of the police or just a fear of authority, right? That has nothing to do with race. Everyone should respect the police regardless of race when they're pulled over. Not every police officer is white. Black police officers should be respected. White police officers should be respected. The motorist should also be respected. But when you start the interaction off being rude and disrespectful, when they're not even being rude and disrespectful to you, you're escalating a everyday normal occurrence that every single person has to deal with, which is a traffic stop, and you're turning it into something potentially dangerous because they are human beings. And like, if people are coming at you funny, don't you want to snap sometimes? You know, so it's just like, don't put yourself in that position. And she's just making excellent points here.
Like, you could do that shit when you get pulled over by yourself, not with my kid in the car. Say, here, watch them kill a fucking man over driver's license, registration, insurance. Because you going, I'm traveling.
I couldn't say it any better. You know, your whole I'm traveling argument and this foolishness that you want to, pull is honestly a slap in the face to people that have actually really dealt with police brutality. They're not brutalizing you. They're not hurting you. All they're doing is asking you for your license and your registration. And there are people that have had negative interactions with the police through no fault of their own. But if he gets any flack at this point in time, he's really bringing it on himself.
Check your attitude.
She just said, all you need to do is just check your attitude. And she's right. I mean, some of you may disagree with my opinion on this, and that's, you're free to do that, but she is just totally right. You are priming yourself to be harmed with this nasty attitude and not providing your license and registration, all because you want to prove a point that's not even correct. You're not sovereign anywhere, but not here in the United States. There are no sovereigns. There are no monarchs here, right? And on top of that, you have to have a license and registration, and there's no getting out of it. There's no exception for you. This officer is not bonded. He does not have to be bonded. He doesn't have to provide you with the bond number. All that stuff is foolishness. And so what you're doing is endangering your life for a lie.
These people, they don't even know the law that well. All they know is point and shoot. If you don't comply.
And again, the thing she just said was they don't even know the law that well. All they know is point and shoot if you don't comply. I disagree with that. But there's a point that she made in there that does have some, a kernel of truth to it. And the kernel of truth is that you don't argue the law with the police officer. He doesn't decide the law. He doesn't decide the legality of the traffic stop, right? He just has to follow the procedures that he's told. They might misinterpret what the law is, and maybe he's wrong about the center brake light being probable cause for a stop, reasonable articulable suspicion for a stop, and maybe he makes some type of procedural mistake. What you do is you don't consent to any searches, don't make any statements, give up your license and registration, hire an attorney when it's time to go to court, and let your attorney make those arguments for you. They're not there to determine the law. They're not there to make the ultimate decision of guilt or innocence. All they're there to do is issue citations, issue arrests, if they have reasonable articulable suspicion and probable cause. That's it. Or investigate. But they don't make the ultimate determination. Okay? And so all that you're doing a whole legal argument with someone that ultimately does not decide what the legal outcome of your case is going to be. So that is a truthful thing.
I can't believe you're going to try that shit with your baby in the car.
I love her.
In the heart problem, I have to get her back on time. Excuse me, officer? Yes. My daughter has a G-tube and a heart problem. I have to get her back on time. Her heart monitor, how long it's going to be, because we live right there in that house.
So she said just now that her daughter has a G-tube and a heart monitor. So she was wondering her issue. And she was wondering how long she has to be there because she wants to go back into the house with the kid and they're right in front of the house. So a G-tube actually is a feeding tube. So I think that one is through the stomach. It's a feeding tube through the stomach. So yeah, sometimes they might have to put the feeding in that. My mom has one. You have to put, the liquid diet in through that, so it might be time for her to eat. She might need to get her heart monitored. So, that's a very reasonable question. He said that it will be 5 minutes. And another good example of why the wife is so annoyed by his behavior, because it's like you have a vulnerable child in the car and you're putting your child in danger by arguing a stupid point with this police officer. I completely get her frustration.
Sir, I have some bad news for you. Your vehicle registration expired May 31st. Okay? According to the laws of Philadelphia, I have to live stop your vehicle, which means it's going to be towed by the Philadelphia Department of Environment.
Okay, so his registration has been expired since May. I don't know what date it is now. They're in Philadelphia, and according to Philadelphia laws, they have to tow the vehicle. Damn, and they're right in front of their house too. That sucks.
Yeah, for registration.
I need those keys, please, sir.
Yo, I need your supervisor.
Okay, that's fine. I'm still gonna need those keys.
I need your
You wanting to speak to the supervisor is not going to stop the officer from being able to perform his lawful duties. He cited the Philadelphia statute that gave him the authority or required him to tow the vehicle, and now the vehicle is going to be towed. So he's not going to stop doing that just because maybe he'll call his supervisor out on scene because you requested. Maybe he won't, you know. But you requesting the supervisor is not a magic bullet. And there's nothing this officer has done so far, I think, that would even necessitate the supervisor come out there. He's not been rude. He has not physically assaulted this guy. You know, he has not tried to search his car illegally. The officer really hasn't done anything wrong up until this point in time. You don't like the outcome, but then you should have updated your car's registration on top of that.
Alright.
Because I'm traveling in my personal conveyance.
Okay.
I don't have to have my car registered.
Okay.
He just said, because I'm traveling in my personal conveyance, so I don't have to have my car registered in the state. First of all, you didn't believe that as of before May when you did have your car registered, but now that your registration has expired and you don't want to update the registration, now you're traveling in your personal conveyance, and so you don't. That's not true, okay? You are operating a motor vehicle on the roads in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and so you have to follow Philadelphia, Pennsylvania traffic rules, right? You can't just rename things for your own convenience and say, oh, I'm traveling. Yeah, you're traveling, but you're traveling by way of car. And when you're traveling by way of motor vehicle, you have to have a license and you have to have registration.
You did at one point, though, right?
Before I knew the law.
Okay. When did...
So he just said, you did at one point have your vehicle registered before I knew the law. Yeah, right. So you complied with the law before you knew what the law was? I don't believe that. You just didn't want to update your registration, so now you're a sovereign citizen. Such a waste of time.
You know the laws.
I'm starting to study now.
Okay. So you want a supervisor? I'm gonna need those keys. Once you give me the keys, I'll call for the supervisor.
I'll need your supervisor.
All right, sir. It's not gonna end well. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
You can't take my car.
I can take your car. I
Sir,
have
the
to
car's
take
not
your car.
registered to the state.
It is registered to the state.
I'm gonna yo, man, you
Sir?
can't take my car, man.
Sir?
Look at my sovereign citizen husband, or more. Well, he want to be a more citizen. He have a right to travel. He ain't got to re-register his car, and it only costs $70. Y'all on here making this YouTube talking about you cannot register your car. Here come the tow truck to impound that. Talking about you ain't got to register your car. You have a right to travel and all of this crazy. And you ain't gotta pay bills or do nothing like that. Look, they impounded him. Thanks a lot, honey. We can't make it to our daughter's doctor's appointments. You can't go to work. You can't do because you trying to be a more citizen. And look, the cops is impounding you. So first the car, next thing it'll be the house, and your credit score drop. Thanks a lot, more citizens. You fucked up my life.
Oh, you know what? First of all, okay, original video, credit goes to Van Bylon. Thank you again, Paul, for this video suggestion. But that is not funny. You know, I was chuckling a little bit just because she was really giving it to him and everything. But that is just, she says more than what I think any of us people that do reactions or, you know, share this sovereign citizen, you know, nonsense. Anyone that is interested in the sovereign citizen, you know, stuff, we don't really think about the collateral damage to their family members. Their family members that probably haven't even bought into this foolishness. You have a child with special needs, and I don't mean mental special needs, like physical special needs. Those things are expensive. That means you need to work. She needs to get to her doctor's appointments if she has a tube in and she has a feeding tube and she's getting liquid nourishment and a heart condition. What if they need to emergently take her to the hospital and it would be faster to get in a car and take her there? But now you don't have a car because you stopped registering your car because you bought into this Moorish citizen, Moorish American foolishness, right? That's not real. And they're so delusional that they don't even listen to their families and friends when they tell them that, look, man, this isn't real. You know, it's really, really hard when someone holds a delusional belief. It is hard if you're not a professional, as in like a mental health professional, to disabuse them of that delusion. There's an excellent video by Dr. Grande here on YouTube where he talks about delusional beliefs and how to talk to someone that has delusional beliefs. And you know, my first thing would be to be, she says, this is stupid, this doesn't work, this isn't real, but that doesn't work when confronting people that have sovereign citizen beliefs. That's why I'm trying to get someone on my channel who is a mental health professional to kind of like talk to me and help us all understand the psychology behind these sovereign citizens. It's something I've been working on. Hopefully I'll be able to do it soon. But this lady is just laid out for us the collateral damage of their belief system. And the collateral damage is you stop paying your bills because you don't believe that you have to pay bills, or you start occupying someone's house because you don't believe that, you know, their mortgage is valid and you're the sovereign and you just come in and take over. You're facing criminal penalties, you're facing evictions, you're facing bad credit scores. When you finally do make it out of your delusion, good luck digging yourself out of that hole. And your family members that rely on you are being hurt. She and her husband are the breadwinners for their child. And now he's making it so that one person income family instead of a 2-person income family, because how is he going to get to work now that his car is towed? I don't know what Philadelphia's public transportation is like. I don't know how close their house is to public transportation. I don't know how much that's going to cost versus however much their car note was. I don't know, but this is what I do know. I do know that it's going to cost a lot of money to get that car out of impound and then to register it and then to pay the tickets for failing to register the vehicle and having a busted brake light, you know? And there you are getting your car towed right outside of your house. I am happy that the officer did not arrest him, you know, and that he maintained his calm, that he maintained his calm, that he saw the situation for what it was and did not allow him to derail the traffic stop and rile him up and turn the situation into something either deadly or dangerous when it didn't have to be. I really commend that officer and his patience. I commend his wife for speaking truth to him because, you know, sometimes these people, you know, you might want to say, oh, why doesn't she just leave him? But no, as long as she's not buying into the foolishness with him, he needs somebody there that has some common sense. But if he doesn't get his act together, he's going to lose her. That's for daggone sure. I hope these people are okay now. I hope that, you know, she has a working car. You know, I hope that the baby is okay. I hope the baby got her little feeding on time and everything. But these people really need to stop. They really, really need to stop. Again, thank you so much for the video recommendation. I really appreciate it. I'm really actually glad that I watched this one because it just had so many interesting facets to it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Please make sure that you like the video. If you have not subscribed and you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.